you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the Preacha-OK. Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge my own self that I know I look a hot mess. I know. I look a hot mess, guys. I do. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. I'm not usually this way. Anyone that knows me knows that I love to be flamboyant. I love being, you know, shiny and bright and glittery and sequenced and all of that. You know what I mean? I'm a performer, you know, a performer on many levels, many levels. Ooh, but right now, live in front of you, I look a hot mess, and I know I do. I know I do, okay? You know, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain why. But no matter how I look, my lips are going to be glossed up, usually on and popping or something, okay? Mm. So, this video is titled Different, but it is still connected to the theme of, you know, I know why my exes left me for other women. I know exactly to the science, math, biblical context of why. I know why. I know why. And there are many reasons. And some reasons are on the personal, individual level. Yes, absolutely. There are some reasons on that small level. The best way for me to explain this right now is to draw pictures. I'm one of those people, I have to draw pictures. I was one of those kids I was a special needs kid. I really was special needs. But I was never diagnosed because back then in the 70s and 80s, kids weren't diagnosed with a bunch of stuff like that. If you didn't have some type of obvious physical disability, like my baby sister did, then your emotional, spiritual, anything that's on the inside of you was not addressed. When I was coming up, it just was not the thing then. It wasn't because parents were so bad, but the medical field was not developed. The laws of the land did not view that as neglect at the time. So I was a special needs kid. I needed a lot of educational help. But because I did not have some type of physical disability, in fact, my physical abilities superseded most kids in my school. I was a gymnast, a dancer. I mean, physically, I was like superhuman. By the time I was in middle school, I was dancing on TV. I danced on the scene. Remember back in the day, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, so let me explain that. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. In California, they had Soul Train. Soul Train was more popular than the scene. Each major city had its own little dance shows and stuff. You know what I mean? And I was invited to go out to California to be, on Soul Train and other small places like that back in the day. I chose not to. I didn't want to be one of those teenagers sent out there to be turned out. I didn't have family that was going to go. You know what I'm saying? Keke Palmer was very blessed. All those child stars, Hollywood stars, who were blessed to have family that would sell their homes like Beyonce and stuff. Queen. I bow to the queen. You know what I'm saying? Her mama and her daddy had her back. Even though things didn't work out in the end, I understand all that too. But in the beginning and in the middle, these parents had their kids' backs. And they should be compensated. If you sell your house, give up your career, and leave your neighborhood to chase a career with a kid, come on now, yeah, you better be compensated very well. But I was young and I was dancing for Dudley Randall. By the time I was in middle school, I'm dancing for Dudley Randall, a famous poet. Never got paid for none of this stuff. I didn't anyway. I was a child. I can't speak for the adults in my life. But I danced for Dudley Randall. I danced on TV, on the scene, and you were supposed to be 18. But my dancing skills put me on a TV show, a public TV show broadcast, at least in Michigan. I don't know how far it went, but at least in Michigan. I never got paid for that. But all that exposure, though, people would approach me out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I had security and all that. So, I just didn't have the support or people and backing to launch me to the next level. So I just went to regular high school and, learn how to, stay in my hood. You know what I mean? Talented or not. But going back to my learning disabilities, I had to learn early on in order to get my educational needs met. Somehow, some way, I was able to, as a child, we rewire my own brain, my own way to learn. So, like the way the teachers would present, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand the way the teachers were teaching stuff. Low key, it was white man's stuff. White man stuff. I'm native. I'm native, Afro Indio, mixed with West African slavery. So, whatever the colonizers brought with them, it was like a puzzle in my brain, my natural brain. My natural brain does not absorb colonizer stuff. But just like the Bible, as a young child, I had to learn the Bible inside and out. I had to learn the colonizers' education system inside and out anyway, even though it didn't make sense, just so that I could one day, conquer this shit. You can't conquer something if you don't master it first, if you don't learn it first, if you don't study it. Sometimes, as a change agent, You got to dwell among the people that you need to overtake, that you need to change, that you need to destroy, or whatever the hell your mission to do. And you may be looking at me, some of you, and say, this is a crazy ass Black woman. Well, yeah, I am. I am. I'll admit it. Yeah, I'll admit it. I even applied for disability and they denied me because my husband was rich. When you have a rich husband, even though you went to the mental hospital 5 times because he was driving you crazy, because he was leaving you for another woman, because he was parading his other women in your face, even took on a woman in our home in my face. But they denied my disability because he was rich. So yes, I am crazy. Can you tell the disability people that I am? Can you tell them that my 5 suicide attempts meant some shit and that, yeah, I do need a damn check? See why I had to get a PhD just to prove how dumb I am? I had to get a PhD just to prove how crazy I am. I had to be the best dancer, best cheerleader, best every damn thing to prove how fucked up everything is and to be able to change it. How else can you change something if you don't consume it? That's why we have so many immigrants here. Some people want to use the word migration or whatever. Well, let me tell you about some migration, okay? From 1910, around that time, to 1970, there was something called the Great Black Migration, where about 6 million, quote unquote, Black people. Remember, I'm Native Afro Indio mixed with West African slavery, okay? But I have to check the fucking black box on shit. Okay, so I'm Black, which makes no damn sense to me, but I'm Black for the record, the legal record. Legally, I'm Black, even though I know who I am, Native, mixed with slavery. I know that. And okay, so back to the 1910, 1970. If I skip around, it's because I'm a researcher. I research day and night. I barely get sleep. That's why my hair nappy, and just like I'm the best cheerleader, best gymnast, best physical person, even at 55 years old, I can still do cartwheels, handstands. I can still do leg extensions on both sides. I can still stand on top of the mount at 55 years old. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, no matter how well you are in the black and white world, it's just a legal term, a status, and it can drive you crazy. And I can prove it. I am proof. So from 1910 to 1970, they migrated. This black and white system called the America, it's so many names. I mean, the United States, America, it's a business, a corporation, just a group of people who dropped into a land and established a government and is making everybody dance to their music. Okay. Okay. And they split it up, red and blue. And they make us have to choose. Just do your research. It's really that simple, okay? But migrate is used because they were born here already. They were born within the system that they created. We're experiments. I'm an experiment. That's why I'm all crazy, y'all. I'm an experiment. Okay, I'm crazy. you know. So anyway, so they migrated us up north for these jobs that they created for us. They created housing and a bunch of promises wrapped up in a union, a little package. Okay. Well, as you guys are noticing, the union is pretty much belly up. It still exists in some pockets here and there. But the original agreement, that's why original agreements do matter. They do matter, original agreements. Because things change over the years because of immigrants, interference, mixing, policy changes, other men, other women, other ideas, concepts. But we're still here, guys. We're still here. We're broke. You know, we're broke. We were lured away from land ownership in the South as freedmen. We were freedmen. Look up that. The freedmen rolls. What happened to that? Well, I'm one of the results of the 6 million people that over that time frame who was transferred up here in Michigan. I'm in Michigan. I am like what, the fourth generation now of auto workers, and we're broke. We barely hanging on here, barely hanging on. So what was the promise? Was that the promise to take our land from down there and move us up here so we can just end up broke? Was that the plan? I want to see the original contract. I want to see everything. And I don't want to have to go find it in a library that barely stays open, that don't know where their books are really. Make it plain and easy. How about just fix the laws? Fix it. Go back to the original, go back to the drawing board and give us what you promised. I'm sure you guys didn't promise us nothing in the end. It was a complete theft, a conquer and divide, an abandonment, just like what they're trying to do to the wives in Florida. These wives raised kids. They may have given up careers. They don't have 401ks. They don't have pensions, just like me. Twice, husbands, left me for other women with nothing but their children behind. Twice, guys. Come on. That's what they're doing for the whole state of Florida, abandoning women who already served, just like our military men. My first husband was military. They sent him home with not enough benefits. So, of course, he turned around and did it to me. Of course, it was done to him. Of course, white men right now in this generation are glad to abandon their mothers, their wives, their children, and everything and run because they're not even getting what the original contract was. All of our original parents and forefathers and things, they all robbed us, guys. We're all robbed, whether you're black or white. whether you're native, whether you're in the other category, or just slid in as Asian, whatever the hell, at the end of the day, we all got robbed. So we got to go back to the original contracts. Because I don't know about you, but I did not even agree to the terms in my divorce. And I didn't even know I was divorced. I didn't even know I was divorced for 5 months. I never even got to sign it. It was all online during COVID. My entire divorce was done online during COVID. And I never agreed to anything. Well, I won't say anything, but I couldn't agree to it. You have to agree to the whole thing before you sign something. And from what I understand, the original Constitution from way back whenever, 16, 17, whatever, I don't care. I can't keep up with all these dates they keep throwing around. Come on now. They're trying to confuse us. All these smoke screens and riots are smoke screens and distractions. We got to stay focused on the real dates that matter. The Great Migration matters right now because we're the great great grandchildren of this shit. And I don't know about you, but I ain't got enough. And I remember back in the day, they had multiple cars and they had houses and they had boats and was we was going on vacations and they had us looking like we was bragging and doing something. Well, we are drunk now and crazy and suicidal, even wearing our best Easter clothes, Sunday outfits. We still crazy. I'm a witness. Please put me on the witness stand as a crazy woman from the hood, but happen to have a PhD and love to research day and night, like Michael Jackson said. Got us working day and night, even for free. I don't get paid to be on YouTube. I got almost 3,000 videos on here. I don't get paid because they got rules to say I can't. But you know what? This is my life. And they're allowing me to tell my story for free. So, hey, I'm doing it. And I'm advertising. And when I was 14 years old, I didn't want to be picked up and discovered and pimped out and all that, hold or whatever. But after the great black migration has blown up in our face, we out here hoeing anyway. So I'm ready now, y'all. I'm ready. But I ain't signing nothing. I ain't signing nothing. Because even when you sign something, the state of Florida can vote and throw your signature away. Our signatures don't mean anything. All those wives who raise kids, sent kids to college, gave up their ability to be independent and just left for other women, and then the kids don't respect them, and we're just left to die. And that's what they want. And I understand that, and that's fine. That's cool. But let's document it the right way. We need to follow up on some type of research on what actually happened to those black migrants, that 6 million people that are native Afro mixed with, West African slavery or whatever other kind of slavery. Let's talk about the fact that you sent our men, our Indio Afro men, mixed with whatever you brought here. Whatever you brought here, black and white system, America, whatever you brought here in your bubble, in your governmental bubble, whatever you brought here, you mixed it with us. You mixed it with us. We have a choice that I'm aware of. We don't know what our daddies be doing. You know what I'm saying? Papas, all of our papas are just rolling stones. And we trying to collect what we can. We're all just grasshoppers. We're either cutting some people, everything in the middle, until the devouring grasshoppers show up. It's just that simple. And so you guys sent our men out all over the world, stationed, meaning they're fixed and stuck and anchored on bases, camps, and things all over the world for months and years, away from their families, away from their nation, doing what? Spreading seed. Some seed is selected to come back home to America through the bloodline, and other seed is just abandoned out there on purpose. But that same, all those abandoned seeds spread out there in the world in the name of America, well, they found they just coming here anyway. Millions and millions of them, they want to come here and they want some rights and some voting rights and money, child support. So they throwing away alimony because they paying child support. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Oh wow. Yeah. So America has to limit and cap alimony and disregard older women to compensate child support and to preserve its younger women. So that's why our younger women are being reprogrammed to stay home and have children and whatnot. So that's why I'm saying that when it comes to Indio Afro women, Indio Afro women mixed with whatever, okay, all right, we're being cheated on right in our face. We're being played right in our face. You know what I mean? By our own stepchildren. Our stepchildren are coming up in here, kind of like when Father Jacob, he married sisters, you know, Leah and Rachel. He married them. And there came a point when, you know, Rachel couldn't have kids or something. And um, Leah was popping out babies left and right. And her sons got old enough to even be sleeping around. You know, the sons got old enough to be sleeping around with Jacob's other wives. And so a curse came because of that. A curse did come upon, was it Reuben? The older one, I think it was, I don't know. But he liked to sleep around with in the family. Some men sleep around within the family. They want to sleep with every woman and man in the family. That's just, you know, if you bring your girlfriend around, your wife around, your whoever, your lover around, that particular man in the family is going to make his rounds too. He'd be like, thank you for bringing him. I don't have to work as hard going out the house to get lovers because my family members are going to bring them to me and share. That's based on my experience coming up and just observing and watching my husbands how they did stuff. Now, my first husband, from what I could see, he was never guilty of nothing like that on me. Now, I ain't gonna say he ain't do no shit, but I'm just saying I never was aware of it. I do remember my family trying to set it up once, and I caught it and shut it down and let my husband know that my family was setting you up in this situation. I could see it. I saw that. I saw the setup. I'm not saying you innocent, but I'm seeing what I saw, and I called it. And I married him. He was my boyfriend at the time, but I married him anyway, you know, and I already, you know, knew what he was like at college. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got to know who you marry. You got to know who you marry. And to me, he was like the polygamous kind of guy. Not every guy is going to just say, I'm polygamous. Ladies, not every man is going to say, hey, I have multiple women. I'm polygamous. You just have to Observe him and watch him. See how he moves. And then you decide if you want to be with him. Why beat him down, make him feel bad and guilty about how he naturally navigates? I don't do that. There's no benefit in trying to change a man into something he's not. Either you agree to be with him or you don't. But once you commit to him, girl, you better do the damn job. Do the damn job. I did for 32 years. So that's why can't no woman run game on me when it comes to marriage. Because I put my big girl panties on. And both of them guys left me for other women. But you know what? I'm the sauce in the bottle any damn way. So they can leave me for whoever they want. I have 7 grandsons. I got 7 more bottles that are genetically mine to fill. They can go ahead. Most High gave me 7 grandsons. I'm about to fill them bottles with millions and millions. Okay. I'm the sauce. See, when you know who you are, you can play anybody's game and win. Just study them, learn them. And when they think they're trying to pull some shit on you, just give them enough rope. Help them out. Help brothers out. We are helpmeets, ladies. You help a man stay with you, and you also help him leave you. The eternal deficit of mankind. That's what this little drawing is about. I know you guys don't know what it is, but just so you know, men are out here as the, let me see, XY chromosome. Yeah. So X is like this, right, guys? X and Y is like this. I told you I'm special, y'all. I'm so slow. I had to actually write down X and Y just now, just to be able to see and know it. Okay. It's ridiculous how I had to get a PhD and help 2 men, black men, become rich in order for me to be seen, in order for me to be heard, in order for me to be able to show that I'm a scientist, a math person and stuff. All that, whatever. I don't use those words in my inner self. So I have to remember X and Y chromosomes and all this. This is white man's language. So I'm trying to, the more I come up with my own, I'm losing my ability to even use their language. You see what I'm saying? That's what's making me crazy. My ability to hang on to it because I have my own brewing inside. So anyway, so men are out here. Think of an outer wheel, okay? Because you guys are the only ones that have the Y chromosome. You're the only ones. And think about it. When Most High blew his breath, he blew his breath. So I think Most High he blew males into the earth. So the earth is a bunch of X chromosomes. This is the eternal deficit of mankind explanation. And I know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay. But I'm going to explain it anyway for those of you who it does make sense to. This makes sense to somebody, probably an Indian person. I'm not trying to be racially and all that. But I have Afro, Indio, Native DNA, whatever. So because women are 2 X's anyway, we're just Earth. We're 2 X's. But men are X's too. That's what keeps men connected to the earth. Most High blew his breath into dirt and water. So men are the actual breath of life from Most High. So if men need a reason to give women like women, you need me. And women be like, why? I am your breath, baby. Men, you are our actual breath. Without your breath, we women would just be in darkness. We would be in darkness without your breath. But at the same time, Yeshua came through Mary. And that's where light comes from. There's a new element on the scene called light. You know? So, yeah, you guys provide us breath, but that breath eventually, somehow, some kind of way, became our light, you know, through women. So we need each other. We need each other because I'm gonna stop right there because I'm having a hard time explaining it past that point. So maybe I just need to shut up at that point, right? Yeah. So when you have a loss of words or can't explain anymore or whatever, it's not that you don't know what you're saying anymore because I have I have some kind of Tootsie Roll looking thing to explain the next level of this. There's another part to this that looks like two Tootsie Rolls together. And this was done on a Super 8 hotel paper, guys. I mean, my divorce was so bad that I didn't even have a computer. I didn't have anything. I did whatever I had to draw what Most High was giving me. I had to draw it just on whatever. And so this is just a random piece of paper. Some stuff is in like binders and stuff. Some stuff is in binders. Now this is you know how like the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel is also connected to the priest who dismembered his wife, who he felt was a whore. In his mind, she was just some raggedy hoe, right? She just some raggedy hoe. So he chopped her up out of his anger and sent each one of her body parts to the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. So that's why we connect the zodiac, so to speak, to bodies. Okay. So I have this, which will eventually turn to a children's game. This will be a children's game so that kids can understand what each 12 tribes, what body part that they received from the dismembered woman. Because remember, each of the 12 tribes had specific inheritance. And Reuben was the first, and he was issued his inheritance based on being first, but not only based on being first, he was also guilty of sleeping with his stepmother. And so he was penalized for that. And even if he had slept with his sisters, stepsisters, or any of that, all that is to be considered when issuing out and measuring inheritances. And then if you're the second child, your inheritance is going to be different than the, first child or nation. The word child can be substituted for nation as well. You know, each 12 sons or tribes were its own nations. And in America, we only identify 5 nations in our census. What happened to the other? What was 5 minus 12, y'all? Come on. 5 minus 12. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I'm delusional. Yeah, right. Let me look at some of the messages. Hold on. Yeah, I am. This is one of those videos where I can admit delusion, I can admit craziness, I can admit suicide attempts, I can admit whatever. I can admit it all. I had to get a PhD just to be able to admit all this stuff. I had to help 2 husbands become rich and so rich and accomplished where they were able to leave me for other rich women. But I had to go through all of that. Yes, I had to go through all that delusion and and all of the betrayal. I had to go through 6 years of incest as a child from ages 6 to 11. Yes, whatever you can. And yes, I smoke weed. This is the strongest street drug I've ever done, smoking weed. Yes, drugs. Somebody said drugs. Yes. Angry. Please, yes. I am angry that I did not get approved for disability because I was married to a rich man. I I I I applied. I applied for disability. But I've never done cocaine. I've never done, I mean, I was a school board member. I'm more than a PhD. I was a substitute teacher in my kids' school district and Detroit school district for a while too, for like about 15 years. Um, you know, I was supposed to have a political career. Yeah, but my husband's abused me and neglected me and ran off with other women. So yes, yes. Thank you for acknowledging. I'm glad you guys are calling me out. Call me out, please, please. The more you call me out, the stronger my case. Because I need to sue all these people. I got to sue them all. I want to change marriage laws where it's not easy for a man or a woman to use anybody and then just run off with the next lover with everything and leave somebody behind all busted and disgusted. Yeah. I don't like how the military sent my husband home. I don't. And I took care of him. I nurtured him back till he was rich. And the system is still jerking him around even today. And I don't like that either. I don't like how the system is still treating my first husband who served his country. I was pregnant with our first child and they sent him the Desert Storm. So yeah, I'm pissed. I got every right to be pissed. Thank you for acknowledging that. That's why I let the comments come on. And I wish I could do more than some weed. The system had me on all kind of crazy medication pills, antidepressants, and whatever the hell you want to call it, for 5 years while my husband was leaving me for another woman. So, the medication that you get prescribed, you know, obviously it didn't help if you could sit here and see the craziness, right? You see the delusion. You see the crazy, right? I had to get on YouTube and show the world just how crazy I am. So maybe this can be used as proof that my husband's and my family hold me out, pimped me out, and left me broke in the end. My family and husbands, they're all guilty. Yes. This system does not work. And I had to be an overachiever to be able to prove it. If I was an underachiever, as I was positioned to be as the system was designed to be, then I wouldn't have a voice right now. I would just be dead. But I had to be an overachiever in every way just to show how crazy this system is. So keep on calling it out. The more you call me crazy, the stronger my case. I've never done anything stronger than marijuana, ever, ever, except for prescribed medication. And I have an associate's degree in pre-pharmacy. I worked in a drugstore for 6 years, from ages 13 until I got married at age 20. So I know what street drugs is, and I know what medication drugs is. I choose not to take 7 psychotic medications, and I choose to just smoke weed. I was crazy with the medications, and I'm crazy with the weed. So I just said, fuck the medication since I don't have insurance anyway. My husbands did not leave me with medical insurance after I raised their kids. I raised their kids. I gave up my career. I was not a bad mother. I was not a bad wife until I woke up and realized I was being played and going to be left for a white woman. Then I said, okay, let me go back to the hood, go back to my hood roots. You know, I'm hood with a PhD, okay? Suburban with a PhD left me broke as a joke. But hood with a PhD said, girl, this is called the eternal deficit of mankind. This Tootsie Roll looking, this robotic looking thing here, you know, is important. This Tootsie Roll thing is something, you know, and all of this stuff one day is going to be, and I even kept up with 1, 2, 3. In my lifetime, I've had maybe 8 major, in my life, I'm 55, guys, 55, 55. And I've had 8 major sexual partners, 8. And this is the year of the 8. I'm born in August. I just had my 8th grandson. Okay. So my life means something and I can prove it. So go ahead, put on here angry woman, crazy outcomes. Yes, I love it. Delusional is a hell of a drug. Yes. The more you guys complain. At first, I've always left comments off because I was afraid of the comments. Because I'm suicidal. So I had to protect my suicidal tendencies. I could not let people attack me. I went my whole life being a doormat, being molested. I went my whole life, you know, being cheated on, neglected, and then ultimately just left with nothing. So I couldn't handle comments at first. I could not handle it. But now that I'm back on my feet, you know, I was able to scrape something after the divorce, okay? And even what I had to scrape out of it, I had to nurture it, bring it back to life. And now that I've done that, and I can even hear the birds chirping in the background right now. This is my story, my joy. You're not going to understand. My story will sound crazy to you. It will. But there are some of you out there who has gone through exactly what I've gone through. And those of you are the ones who will be my supporters. Those of you are the ones that I want to include in my book. I want to include you. And I will know who you are. When I get to the point where I have, like, you know, my membership thing, I'm not there yet. I'm not in a hurry, guys. I'm not in any hurry to be monetized on this at all, because I have almost 3,000 videos just speaking freely, just being me for the first time in my life without it being in survival mode. Every dance I've ever done in my life, every cheer I've ever done in my life, every educational adventure, anything I've ever done in my life is out of survival mode. I had to do those things or I would have been murdered, just left to die. I mean, pure abandonment. With a pretty dress on, with a fur coat, with new cars. Rich people can be just as neglectful, unattentive, unloving as anybody else. I'm proof. I'm proof. The Great Migration, the Great Black Migration. This is what you end up with, what you can end up with, what you can end up with. Now, from that same migration, did people become rich? Yeah, they did. Off of people like me. People like me don't leave soldiers behind. I didn't want to leave my kids behind. I didn't want to leave my grandkids behind. I didn't want to leave my friends behind. Some people don't leave. And we endure and suffer with everybody else by choice. And we look delusional, we look angry because we can afford the voice. We don't have much more, not much, but we have just enough where if we die, we can leave something behind for the community, you know. And if we live and be the voice for those who don't have one, just maybe, we can be like Kamala Harris, the other woman, the immigrants, the children of our fathers, our siblings, our cousins, family. But I do recommend that we go back to the original contracts and see what they say. See who signed them. See who did not sign them. See if things were done right. Sometimes it takes being mad, pissed off, and angry and delusional to change things. You just sit there and let whatever happen. Just be raped, robbed. Well, that's your choice. That's your choice. Just be rocked to sleep. Be happy in your world. I choose to be angry. I don't like how I was treated. I don't like how other people in my community are treated. I don't like how America has treated its natural inhabitants. I don't like it. And people can kill me if they want to. I've tried to kill myself 5 times. People can kill me if they want to. I'm still not going to die. People can put me in jail if they want to. I've never been ever in my life. I've never been arrested, no matter how crazy I am on this channel, and hurt and delusional and whatever else you want to say. You ain't said nothing that my own family ain't said. My own family has molested me for 6 years for free. So it's nothing you can say to me on this channel that can hurt me. I'm just keeping it real. So go ahead and spew whatever you want to spew. If it make you feel better, do it. But I'm going to speak my piece and I want to change the laws while I do it. I have a desire to change marriage laws where it's not easy for a man or a woman to just leave somebody broke, especially if they're caring for the kids. What kind of person wants to do that? Over and over, though. Over and over. But see, what children need to understand is the same person that will put your mama out on the street will put you out on the street. You just have to live long enough to see it and experience it. I have read somewhere in the Bible before that if someone can't love your mother, they cannot love you. No matter how big their smile is, no matter how big their wallet is, no matter how many bills they pay, if they can't stand your mother, if they put your mother on the street, they hate your mother, they cheat on your mother, they can't stand you either. They can't. They can't. Don't trust that smile. Don't trust them pockets. And as more men legally marry each other, they will learn that about each other too. We women have learned it. We're maxed out. They don't even want to pay alimony. They don't want to pay child support. They don't want to pay for themselves. They're leaving themselves broke. Men are leaving themselves broke. They don't just leave their wife and kids broke. At the end of the day, when they take their little few bags of clothes, bags of change, dollars, whatever, and they give it to a whole new nation, family, group, country, whatever, continent, they just throw money away while you starve. They just being robbed. They being, what they call it when you pickpockets. Everything is just dwindling. It's just a matter of time. So that's what this whole country, America, is experiencing right now. We're all experiencing the same thing from the White House, which has the black job. So from the White House with the black jobs all the way down, the White House has the black jobs now. So if the White House has the black jobs now, then where's everybody else's jobs? Over time. Like happening really fast. These massive layoffs. It's like everybody is trying to, it's like musical chairs before the election. Musical chairs before the election. When I was a cheerleader, I hate to bring this up, but when I was a cheerleader, whenever we go to camp, just before cheerleading camp, see, we had boys on the team and girls on the team. The boys were called tumblers. The girls were called cheerleaders. We did the same thing. The boys could lift me up and I could flip off the back of the mount of the boys. But the girls could also lift me up. Even today, I only weigh 105 pounds. I weigh 105 pounds, like sitting here right now. So even the girls In high school, I didn't even weigh that in high school. In high school, the most I weighed in high school was 88 pounds in high school. So even the girls could lift me up in high school and flip me off the back too. We had different names, but the same positions. Different names, same positions. So if the White House, which is considered the top in our country, um, if that's where the black jobs are now, then everybody else's jobs is below that. So, hmm, when I was a cheerleader and just before camp is a week long. So everybody would try to pair up, okay, you my girlfriend, you my boyfriend. Because at camp for a whole week, no one wants to be unclaimed for a whole week. You want to guarantee some type of intimacy for that week. Even if you cheat, even if you cheat, you want to claim a piece of ass for that week. So the election is kind of like cheerleading camp. The election is cheerleading camp, and we only got, what Michelle Obama got say, 2.5 months, like 2 months or something like that, just a few months before the election, before cheerleading camp. And everybody need to decide who they gonna sleep with. That's what's going on right now. And whoever you gonna sleep with, whatever bed you end up in, you're gonna be in that bed for a while now. So if you want 2 men, this ain't even about women at this point. You take women really, no matter who is president, it's irrelevant at this point. At the end of the day, we as a country need to decide, do we want to be the gay country, which no other country, continent on this earth really want to rock and roll like this? Maybe a few out there, that's because they're really desperate. They're not major. They're not major. Okay, like, remember I was saying on here how I have a list of, like, I have 8 major sexual partners in my life, 8 major ones. So that means that I was very, very selective with those ones. So those were the ones that were anchors in my garden. I mean, I have a garden, So in my garden, there's 8 major names here. And under those men, if they were the kind of men that were cheating on me, if they were cheating on me, see, women are followers. Women are followers by design. I won't say by nature, but by the governmental black and white systematic design that we work under. We work under this system. We get our paychecks. We draw our water and bread under this governmental system that's black and white. So under this system, I forgot where I was going with that, but you have to be careful who you have children with, who you allow in your family. Some people will exist within your gates, your family, bloodline, your field peacefully. Others will not. Those who are peaceful in your home, your lot, your land, your country, your continent, let them stay. People who are not peaceable in your world, help them leave. Make it easy for them. And once they're gone, then you settle up. Yeah. So, with my second husband, that's where my retirement lied. You know, he and I together made a lot of horrible, 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 horrible decisions. The leadership fell on him. Women are sheep. We are going to follow you. So, on my list, the men that were cheaters, how I know they were cheaters is because I became one. I'm going to do what you do. That's what sheep are. That's what followers do. If you're the leader, that's how a woman can tell when her man is cheating because she will want to too. Women will follow their man anywhere. Okay. So, my very first boyfriend, I never cheated. He didn't cheat. The second boyfriend, I never cheated. Never cheated. He didn't cheat on me. The second boyfriend, he was polyamorous. So he had other loves. So on occasion, I did too. So that's how I knew that he was cheating on me. But he wasn't cheating. He wasn't cheating. He never came off as the kind of guy that was settled. So I'll just say that he was poly. The first two sold themselves as monogamous and proved to be because I was monogamous too. The third guy, he did not present himself as monogamous. He didn't come off as though he was going to be my only man and all that. And so I liked him because he was my preference. He fit the preference, you know what I mean? So, those preferences, you take a risk. I mean, they're fun relationships, but if they're not living within your true core values, you're not going to be able to stay with them. It's like pulling teeth, you know what I mean? But I was fascinated. I liked, and he was the kind of guy that would share the stories. He would go out and venture out, and share the stories. It was like having my own TV show, like he became a TV series, like an episode. Okay, what's the next episode? He wasn't my boyfriend. I mean, like, you know what I mean? He was just someone I really liked and was fascinated with. And I liked his stories. I liked his stories. I did. I just liked his energy and being around him. You know. So the guy or two that I might have, played around with. I mean, like very minutely. um, you know, it was just a reflection of what he was doing. The guy after him, okay, he was whew, overly monogamous, which to me is a red sign, a red flag. Yeah, and he was a cheater because um, I was tempted to revisit the guy before him, and the way it all played out was so dramatic and was so intense till I'm like, this guy was probably cheating every day of the week. The way I mean, just the way he was so, and he was the kind of cheater that if you matched his energy, oh, he was gonna guilt trip you to no end. So I would never cheat after that. I never cheated anymore after that. Number one, it just wasn't my nature. Number one, for real, for real. And then number two, he was just such a drama king about it. I didn't give him any other reason to think I would cheat again. None. With a smile on my face, because it's easy for me. But he spent the rest of the relationship just so uncomfortable and actually wanted to get married. And I was like, hell no. What? Get married the way you act? You gotta be kidding. So, the guy after him. This was the college guy and my first husband. And where I actually had two children, the only two children that I gave birth to, the only two pregnancies I've ever had in my entire life. I've only been pregnant twice. That's it, twice. And it was by this guy, and he was poly. He was polyamorous. Very adventurous and fun. And we're in college. By this time, I'm in college, and I was told in eighth grade by a teacher, my eighth grade math teacher, that college was the place to find a husband. And different TV shows and stuff I had watched kind of suggested that, women, if you don't, get a husband in high school, college, then you probably won't have one. You'll be stuck in a career with no husband. I said, well, okay, he's a player. I don't want no kids. I never wanted kids because I didn't think I would be a good mom. And so that's the only reason. And so, I mean, I just knew I wouldn't be. I just didn't see how I could. I just didn't see. and so, and so he was willing to be married. For some reason, he just wanted to be married so bad. What is it about guys that cheat? The guys that cheat, the ones that have multiple women, and they are the ones that just want to get married so bad. I have noticed that. So anyway, we ended up married, and in my heart, I knew I wasn't the only one, and so whatever. But I wasn't planning on having no kids, so I wanted to be an independent woman with a breathing dildo. I have to be honest. I mean, why not? That's what I wanted. At an early age, I read the Bible. I read the Bible in elementary school, and I was able to do biblical math and figure out life, that it was better for women not to have kids unless the men's family could really provide for the kids. If the men's family could provide for the kids, then it's worth having kids. But if the man's family can't provide for the kids, I mean, like, not even him by himself, it takes generational wealth. One man being rich is not enough for me to have a kid. Normally. Okay, normally. So Because I read the Bible so young. When you let a kid read the Bible by themselves when they're young and and have either a learning disability or is extremely smart, because they're both extremes. Learning disabilities and being smart are like they're like extremes. Everybody else, the masses, are in the middle. Ooh, that's probably where that Tootsie Roll thing come from. See the Tootsie Roll thing? I bet that got something to do. Like the most people in the middle and boom, boom. Okay, so anyway. So yeah. So either you're developmentally, socially delayed in life, or you're like the Obamas. I mean, the Obamas are like they're on a level of intelligence and socialization and political awareness and stuff that whew, it's just phenomenal to watch them. I would never vote for them again. I would never vote Democrat again on the federal level, just the federal level. On the state level, that's a whole different playground. The federal, I think getting rid of the federal government would be like everybody's solution. Let each state handle its own business. What's wrong with that? I mean, like, why do we need presidents when we have governors? I mean, like, even in the Bible, um, what was his name? Potiphar's wife. Yeah, Potiphar, something like that. Potiphar, he managed his own business, his own kingdom, and he used Joseph as a governor. You know what I mean? As a governor. But he had a wife. And see, our presidents and vice presidents until Madam Kamala came along, it was always two men. How can two men make a balanced decision? I mean, even in the Bible, it says in the beginning, you know, Most High, He made a male and a female. He made them. He made them. And He gave them domain. So two men running this country together, like a married couple, all these decades and decades and decades, it's like it was just imbalanced, you know. So I think Kamala is giving a different perspective. And then I like how we have a king and a queen now in England. Is it England, Britain? I don't know. You know, not it's not here, but over there. They have a king and a queen. That's more appropriate than just having a queen or just having a king. It's more balanced. And until I'm going to shut this down because I'm just rambling. I'll admit it. I'm rambling. I'm delusional. I'm crazy. Please tell the government. Tell the government that I need a check, a crazy check, a delusional lady check, a crazy lady check. Because I applied. They denied it because my husband is rich. So, you know. Now, rich, like lowball rich, not rich, not like that kind. But then I think he is. His employer just holds it. Just because your employer don't give you all that you're worth, don't mean you ain't rich. Because they sent him all over the world. They sent him to Germany, China, Mexico, just wherever. I can't remember. 25 years of marriage. He's an engineer, all over the world. But I ain't see that money in our house. He's good enough to be sent all over the world to work for you, but not good enough to send that money to our house. They put me in a commercial. GM put me in their first black commercial. I'm in GM's first black commercial. And I'm poor. Make that make sense. They let him, their engineer in that commercial, the man in the commercial, they let the man in that commercial divorce me for somebody else and left me with nothing, with no, not even medical insurance. Yeah, GM did that. General Motors allows stuff like that to happen. They need to have better control over their employees and how their employees represent them going forward. Companies do. Companies need to tighten up their images. Don't just let anybody work for you anymore. People who divorce their wives and get other women and leave their wives and children broke. What? Corporate America need their asses spanked and sued. GM need to be sued for putting me all over the world, putting my black, evil, ugly face, delusional, what? Delusional, angry, all this. Yes. Oh, someone says, I need you. Big Rock Big. Big Rocks Big says, I need you. What do you need me for? I'm not always so aggressive. I have a very, very soft side. What do you need me for? I'd love to, find out why. Yes, angry women equals crazy outcomes. Yeah, it does. It does. I agree. At the DNC, they didn't even have a women's bathroom. They had a men's bathroom and then a everybody else bathroom. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think these companies need to hire better employees, employees that don't do evil things. And I think GM need to be sued for putting my face, and then they never acknowledged me. He got an award because he was an employee for being in the first commercial, first black commercial. Well, I never got an award for being in GM's first black commercial. And then I don't even have medical insurance being in GM's first black commercial. I don't have anything for being in GM's first black. No award, no medical insurance, no residual income. I don't have anything from General Motors. But my ex-husband, he got a whole new wife, white wife that's a nurse and better than me and all of that. Y'all, he raised our sons that are black, that are adopted, made me raise these kids and give up my career. And I don't even have medical insurance to get some crazy lady pills. I wish I could afford some delusion lady pills. I wish I could. And then my alimony covers just enough of my bills, which I'm thankful. I'm not complaining. So for those who's like, look at her complaining about getting alimony. Well, the alimony doesn't give me medical insurance. And I had 5 suicide attempts after we were married, like what, 16 years? We were married 16 years. And then I had 5 suicide attempts before he left me. So how dare he get away with divorcing me without having to cover my medical care? I was married the first time and had 2 kids by the first man and didn't have no suicide attempts. And I knew he had other women. I knew he had other women, didn't have suicide attempts, and left him. So the second husband, he can't use any of that stuff as an excuse. He can't even use my childhood as an excuse. Even being molested by 3 different uncles from ages 6 to 11. Those 6 years of my life, I didn't have a suicide attempt. That marriage, him, being with him, triggered all that shit. People. And he got away without even providing medical insurance for me. And he married to a nurse. Seemed like this nurse wife of him would understand how important it is for me to have medical insurance. You can have him, nurse lady, that lived in my neighborhood, guys. I have a PhD. I should be a college professor. I mean, I know you looking at me and you see a delusional, black, ugly, old, unwanted woman right now. I know what you see. But this is not what he married originally. Come on now. This is not what he married originally. And this white nurse that was a neighbor in our neighborhood saw us going through what we were going through in our life, decided to save him from what? Himself? Now you stuck with him, woman. But can you have the decency to give me the whole pension at least? I worked my ass off in that marriage, lady. White nurse lady that stole my husband. I worked my ass off in that marriage. I've known him since 9th grade, white lady that stole my husband. Can I get the full pension, please? And since you wanted him so bad and stole him, take him. I don't give a fuck about the him part. But can I get the full pension? Can I get some medical insurance? Y'all drove me crazy stealing him. You drove me crazy stealing him from me, lady. Give me some medical insurance. Give me the full pension. And you share your benefits with him. To me, that's fair. If you think that's fair and you're still listening to me, put a 1. If you think it's fair that the other woman should supplement what she stole from me after 25 years and raising 2 boys for him that he turned against me, who also love white women and don't like black women, please put a 1. Yes, I'm delusional and I'm upset because General Motors put my face out there for the world to see and let their black engineer kick me to the curb with nothing while he parade his new white wife of a nurse in my fucking face. Yes, I'm delusional. Yes. Please tell the state of Michigan. Please. My name is Leisha Lewis, aka Dr. Leisha the Preacher. And I made this channel for women like me who have been abandoned, neglected our entire life by everybody. Everybody. Some people end up like Michelle Obama, being able to speak all elegantly and great and have an audience of people praising them and clapping, whether she a male or a female, it don't matter. Then you got people like me who have scraped and scraped and scraped and scraped and scraped and scraped my whole life. And I had to crawl up from under 3 uncles. For real. This ain't no Color Purple movie. I am breathing and alive. And I had 3 uncles rape me every night for 6 years. 6 years so my mama could work because my daddy left us. My daddy left us too. And he hurt my mama. He hurt her on the way out to go. And I had to make up for that my whole life. I had to make up for my parents divorcing when I was 5 years old. I had to make up for it. I had to make up for it. I had to be the best at everything. I had to be the best at everything. And no one loved me because of it. Everyone left me because I couldn't love enough. I couldn't be smart enough. I couldn't dance enough. I couldn't care enough. I couldn't cook enough meals. I couldn't take kids to enough AAU games. I couldn't send enough kids to college. I couldn't do enough to be enough in this world. I could never be Michelle Obama. I could never be Claire Huxtable. I could never be enough for anybody. I got a PhD and I don't have medical insurance. I went all the way to the top. I was the best wife. I was the best mother. I was a good employee. And I didn't get a pension. I didn't get nothing. I got nothing. Nothing. I got nothing. Oh, God. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh earth. There has to be another way. It 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 has to be another way. And no one's listening. No one wants to hear us. No one wants to hear us. No one wants to hear us. No one cares about us. No one cares about us in America. Black women are hated here. We're hated here in America. We can't work hard enough. We can't be smart enough. We can't be enough here. And we raise these men, the same men that hate us. We give birth to them. And we raise them. And they hate us. And they just run off with white women. And any woman that'll take them. Any woman, any German woman that'll throw them a crumb. They just run and go. And yes, I'm delusional. And yes, I'm mad. And yes, I'm angry. Because it's all legal. It's legal. It's legal to leave us hurt, abused, and abandoned. It's legal. And General Motors put my face on for the world to see, and then they just let me burn. How dare you, General Motors? How dare you, state of Michigan, make me adopt 2 boys and crush me to nothing, and they just run off to white women? How dare you, General Motors? How dare you do that to me? How dare you, Olympics? I was a part of the original break dancers in 1980, and I also won a championship in Lansing, the state of Michigan. I won a breakdancing championship, and I deserve to be at the Olympics too. I do. My daughter, her basketball coach in high school groomed her for molestation, and my husband still made her play basketball for that man for 3 years anyway. And then he let the adopted son get a scholarship in our face from the same school. He let the basketball coach basically rape my daughter and then turn around, let the adopted son get a scholarship on us in our face. That boy went off to college and got a degree and didn't even let me come to the graduation. And my daughter ended up a drug addict for 7 years because a black man wouldn't defend her. I love you, baby, and I'll always be here for you. But I know they let you down, baby. But I fought for you. I fought for you, baby. I fought for you. I'ma keep on fighting for my kids. I'ma keep on fighting for my daughters. I'ma keep on fighting for my 7 grandsons. And I'ma keep on fighting for my granddaughter. I'ma keep on fighting if my mama don't love me. I'ma keep on fighting if my husbands don't love me. I'ma keep on fighting if this government don't love me. I'ma keep on fighting. And I'ma keep on working. And I'ma keep on getting up. And I'ma keep on getting up. And I'ma keep on getting up. And I'm going to keep on getting up for my kids. For my kids. I'm going to keep on getting up. And I'm delusional. And I'm mad. Yes. Yes. And they denied me a check. They denied me a check. So I ain't got time for no German ladies. I ain't got time for no other ladies. This lady right here was denied. This lady here has been abandoned, abused, misused, and she still made it anyway. She still made it anyway. That's still love. I still love. Even after all of that delusion, craziness, madness, I am still getting up. And I love my kids. I love my grandkids. And I will never stop fighting as a native Indio Afro woman mixed with West African blood. And I love you too. And there is no greater love. No greater love. And I'm so sorry that we had to be doormats. I'm so sorry. But I'm not going to let our lives, our love, our image go in vain because people don't know how to love, because people just want to steal and just run off and act like we ain't shit. Well, we are shit. We're more than shit. And we are stars. And no matter what, I promise to love. And I promise to be here for you, your sister, my kids, and for me forever. I'm tired of people using and abusing us, taking everything from us, taking all of our dreams and running off, taking our love and running off, taking our ideas and running off and profiting and leaving us with nothing. Tired. Just tired. Yeah. Laugh if you want to. I got snot all over my face. Laugh if you want to. I don't give a fuck. I got nappy hair. Laugh if you want to. We are not going out like this. Remember this day.
I wish any of you ever come at my mama. I swear to God, I will knock you down. I swear to God, do not mess with my mother. You don't know what she's been through.
Thank you.
She only put videos for y'all to know what's been going on. You don't know the depth of what she's been through. And I'm her protector. So if anybody say anything negative to her, find me and I'll fuck with you. I'll mess you up. Don't mess with my mama. I'm not playing. I don't care who you are.